to legends like Tommy Chong every Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on WTAN Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. Knife and Fork Radio Show with Mike and Eric and Ed back there in the production studio. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that last commercial break as much as we did. And now we're going to move on with some more information. We're going to keep you in the know because that's what we do on the Knife and Fork Radio Show. We have our thumb on the pulse of everything food related from A to Z.
In the world.
In the world.
And on the planet.
Yeah, on the entire in the universe. You know, Morgan & Morgan says they're the largest law firm in the universe. I firmly believe that the Knife and Fork Show is the largest radio show in the universe.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to get to that a little bit later and let you know exactly why. I've got that down in my show prep for today as well.
Fantastic.
All right. So I thought this was really cool. I've never personally been to a Wawa and ordered a sandwich before.
Nor have I.
But from what I understand, Wawa throws down some really good sandwiches. Ed, have you ever been to a Wawa and ordered a sandwich from any of the stores that they have out there?
I did. It's around Thanksgiving time. They had the turkey sub or whatever
with probably like cranberry on there or something.
Yeah,
dressing and all that, or
okay.
stuff. It was okay.
I don't think I don't know anybody's coming close to Publix.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you, I stand behind Publix every day of the week. Well, apparently there's a lot of people out there that really, really love Wawa subs, and they'll forego a regular sub specialty sandwich shop to go to the gas station and buy a sandwich. I've had multiple people tell me this before. That's how good they are. I don't have any personal experience with that whatsoever, but you know who else knows that? Wawa knows that. And you know how I know that Wawa knows?
How's that?
Well, let me tell you, Mike. All right. I'm really glad that you asked. That's a great question. Let me fill you in on why. Wawa is opening a restaurant that serves nothing but sandwiches, and it's going to have a drive-through.
Really?
So they're not going to have gas pumps. They're not going to have any type of, like convenience store items inside. It's a straight drive-through sandwich shop, and they're opening up in Largo. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it opens today, if I'm not 100% mistaken. But they're going to serve their what they call world famous hoagies and breakfast sandwiches, and it's going to be located on 2530 East Bay Drive. It's the first location to be erected in Florida, and it's the third in the entire company that's sandwich only. So
Really?
they're putting their hand into the mix of the restaurant world right now, in addition to their convenience store conglomerate that they have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't make any money on gas anymore, right?
Apparently not. So yeah. So if you guys want a Wawa sandwich, and you much like myself, there's a line from you ever watch the vacation movies?
Oh yeah.
Remember when he goes to the gas station and he buys the sandwiches for the family, and he says, "I'm so hungry, I could eat a sandwich from a gas station right now," and he's eating it. Every time I think of Wawa and serving sandwiches, I think of Chevy Chase eating that gas station sandwich, saying that, and I can't bring myself to walk into the gas station and buy a sandwich because all I can see is Chevy Chase making a joke saying, "I'm so hungry, I could eat a sandwich from a gas station right now," as he was eating a sandwich from the gas station.
I say that every time I pick up a sandwich from the gas station,
It's
if
so
I'm ever
funny,
going to.
Yeah.
Every time I say it.
Every time, yeah.
Every time.
I'm so hungry, I could eat a sandwich from a gas station. And that's the only thought that's in my mind every time I think of somebody eating a Wawa sandwich. I don't know. I'm a big movie buff. I could quote all those movies from the 80s and 90s. And that's like my thing. I don't know why. I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday, but I can remember obscure lines from movies that no one's ever heard of from 1987 and 1992. And I can say, "What do you mean you've never heard of this movie before?" My wife, she works at in like an HVAC company up in I don't want to say like the Seminole area, but like that area out there. And her boss that works there is a big movie buff as well, and I always tell her, I give my wife lines from movies. I'm like, ask her if she remembers this line from this movie, and she'll sit there and text it, and then her boss is like laughing about it and say, "Oh my god, of course I do. Yeah, of course I remember Midnight Madness." Does anyone ever? No one's ever heard of that movie except for me and my wife's boss. It's the funniest thing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh,
it's not officially Christmas in my house until this comes out.
The moose out front should have told you, folks. Oh, hands down. one of the funniest movies that I could ever made. I'm telling you,
Ever made.
it was such a funny movie. Oh my God. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Chevy Chase and who was it? Anthony Michael Hall and Beverly D'Angelo and the
I like
daughter.
the cousins though.
Randy Quaid.
Oh my God.
that
And I
Randy
French kiss, but Daddy says I'm the best.
Oh, and she's stirring the Kool-Aid, and he looks at her. He's like, "You need a little bit of help with that?" And she's
You
like,
know,
"Why?"
that-
And she's
that
got
was-
her arm in there.
I watched the outtakes of it, and she just did that random. The girl did that, and Chevy looked over and said, "Keep doing it, let's film it."
Oh, no kidding.
No, she
So
stuck
that
her
was
arm in
improv.
there and started. He said, "That's perfect." And
Oh, my God.
I wound up just doing it. Yeah.
That's
That is
awesome.
absolutely hilarious. I had no idea about that. That is so funny. Yeah, what a great movie, man.
Oh.
And all of them were really good. It got a little stupid when they did the Vegas vacation.
Yeah.
It was okay.
It was
but
okay.
I'll
but
tell you, the European vacation was
Was classic.
Well,
it
they
was just
changed
as
all the
good.
kids in that. You know,
Yeah, they
the kids were
always
all
did. Yeah,
different.
the kids were always changed every time the new movie came out.
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation.
You know, the people that own Cousin Eddie's house out wherever it is in the middle of nowhere where it was filmed,
Yeah,
they have signs like for miles. Don't stop.
do they
Don't
really?
stop and take photos. You'll be run off with a shotgun or whatever.
Oh my God.
No, they're very upset.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
the signs warning, don't stop and take photos.
what part of the country is that in?
I don't know. It's just in the middle of nowhere.
Okay,
you know?
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not stopping there to take pictures.
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
Not in the middle of nowhere.
No, European vacation was good, and the Christmas vacation was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
he says, the neighbor says, "Hey, Griswold, where are you going to put a tree that big?" He looks at him. He's got that giant Christmas tree. He's like, "I'll tell you what. Why don't you bend over? I'll show you." I say that line to
I'm not
everybody.
talking to you. I'm talking to her.
Right, exactly. I love it. It's the best. Oh man! All right, so let's get serious again. Let's get serious. All right,
Wait a
so
minute, before you get serious.
yeah, it's got something in store for us right now. Let's see what it's all about.
Smell something? Fried pussycat.
Randy Quaid, man. I'll tell you what, that guy went off the rails later in life.
Oh,
Randy
did
Quaid.
he? Did he?
Wow, he went off the rails, but he was hilarious as
He
Cousin Eddie.
was good.
I
He
can't
was
say
good.
it on the air, but remember he's cleaning out the Blackwater tank from the
Yeah.
Winnebago. All the neighbors are watching him.
And the methane gas blows
Oh
up the
my
whole
God.
place.
Oh, so funny. All right, let's get serious again. All right, back to business, guys. Wendy's.
Jeez,
We like to talk about Wendy's on this show quite a bit. And there's actually two stories that involve Wendy's, and I'm going to get to both of them right now. But apparently, Wendy's has this new chicken nugget deal, I guess, and they're tossing them in a sauce, right? Has anyone heard about that? So instead of giving you like a dipping sauce on the side, they're taking the sauce and they're tossing them in there, almost like a boneless buffalo wing or something.
Right.
Your choice of sauce, but it's $1.20 upcharge in order to get that done.
Really?
Yeah, so you're paying extra for them to do this tossing in the sauce. And it's hilarious because the customers that have ordered these, I don't know if they're in this market yet. It's just something maybe they're beta testing in different parts of the country. But the customers that have ordered them so far are outraged because there's not enough sauce on them. This is a direct quote from one of the customers. "Barely any sauce on this at all. This is criminal. They're threatening to sue." I'm not making this up. They're threatening to sue Wendy's
For
because they're not
$1.20?
putting enough sauce for the $1.20 upcharge. They're saying that Wendy's is a criminal because of this.
Wow.
And what did Wendy ever do? Yeah, I mean, no. But I mean, like, how serious do you take your chicken nuggets that when you get them and they're not to your satisfaction, you threaten to sue the company and call them criminals because they're not putting enough sauce? That's where we're at in the food society today.
The same guy that brought the tape measure to Subway.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
guy.
I remember that. Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
guy.
They're not 12-inch subs.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're
same.
11 3/4. Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
guy.
I used to have a guy. He would come into years ago when I worked at this place up in Newport Richey. Oh man, this guy. There's no way he's possibly alive anymore.
well, that's-
very. Yeah, I mean,
It's probably good news, right?
yeah, whatever. But he used to come in there, and we served a 10-inch sandwich, and we used to get the bread. We actually baked our own bread there, so all of our bread was rolled out, the morning of, threw in the oven, so it was nice and fresh. And they were advertised as 10 inches. And he would come in there and he would make me grab 2 or 3 bags of bread, stand them up end to end on top of the counter so that he could look at the rolls and order the largest rolls out of the entire 30 that I'm showing him on the counter. And I swear to God, that's how serious this guy was. And then he would order this fettuccine Alfredo dish that we had because that was lunchtime. He'd get 2 10-inch sandwiches. That was his lunch, right?
Wow.
Like fried chicken cutlet subs. He'd get 2 of those. Then he would come in there for dinner the same day, most of the time, and he would order fettuccine Alfredo with chicken on it for dinner. That came with salad and whatever else, I don't remember. But he used to tell me I was the only one he would allow to make it. Like, he wouldn't let anyone else cook it, right? And I'm like, great, I got to deal with Joe again. All right, I got it, guys. Everybody else do everything else. I'll take care of this one guy because I don't have a million things to do, right? So I'd go back there and I'd start making his food. And there was like this little tiny window that led into the kitchen from like where the restrooms were. Mm-hmm. There was a hallway built, and there was a little hole cut out in the wall so that if you wanted to, you could see the production in the kitchen as well. And he would walk around that corner every time and watch me cook it, and he would make me make his Alfredo as thick as possible, like pudding. It looked like white pudding. And he would say, and I'd have to show him, is this good enough for you, Joe? No, thicker. And I'm like, and so I realized I'm adding literally, I don't know, for all of you out there listening that don't know how to make an Alfredo, it's pretty simple. It's garlic, it's butter. You melt that down, you add heavy cream to it, salt and pepper, then you add Parmesan cheese, and that's the thickening agent. The most expensive ingredients, of course, are going to be the heavy cream
and the cheese
and the Parmesan cheese. And when you're adding 10 times the amount of cheese that you're supposed to use in a given recipe, guess what you've done? You've increased your food cost by 10 times because it's written for that and it's priced out according to the recipe. So I realized one day, I'm like, you know what? This is ridiculous. There's no way I'm going to continue to dump, like a pound of cheese in this guy's dish. Right. It's just crazy. So I see him coming in, and I knew he was going to order. So what I would do is I'd get the Alfredo going ahead of time, and I'd make a cornstarch slurry, and I would add the slurry to the what's it called? The Alfredo sauce. And so he'd come over, and he'd move really slowly. So I knew I had enough time before he made it from there to the window. And he would peek his head over, and I'm like, Joe, I got it, man. Is this thick enough for you? And Mike, I swear to God, it was like white. I mean, pure white sludge. And he looked at it. He's like, oh, man. And he starts salivating. You can tell, like, he's ready to eat, right? I want that. I want that Alfredo that's thick. I want that sludge. And I would put, like, literally a quarter of the cheese in there, just some extra salt to give it flavor, right? Came back the next day. Eric, I swear to God, that was the best Alfredo I've ever had in my life. There was nothing in it except for heavy cream and cornstarch. And he loved everything about it, man. And so every time he came in, I had to make him that dish. And I always had to race him to the window because if he saw me adding the cornstarch to it, he would understand, I'm ripping him off at this point. But I'm not gonna unload a pound and a half of cheese in this guy's dish and charge him $10.99 at the time for it.
Well, it probably averaged
ridiculous.
out. Well, after you hit him with the cornstarch a few times.
If you have to add extra cheese, why didn't you charge him extra? Then you'll see how much he wants it thin.
The company, and this is a little independent. The guy that owned the place was so customer service oriented, and he wanted so much to have his repeat business in there that even a little situation like that, it didn't make a difference to him. He's like, just do it, and keep him coming in. Yeah, exactly.
If you ordered a cheeseburger and you wanted extra cheese, would he not charge? Same thing.
Probably not, Ed. Probably not. Yeah. And that's just how this guy was. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Initials JK. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Of course.
But
man, that guy.
Moving on from the Wendy's thing to another Wendy's thing I got here in my notes somewhere. But I do know that there it is. I do know that all this week, and I am a huge fan of the Wendy's Baconator. And I know, Ed, you like them too, because you went and tried one time after I talked about it on the air a few weeks back. Wendy's, in honor of, I guess, of Father's Day.
Yeah.
All this week, man, they're giving out free Baconators.
Really?
Wow.
Free Baconators all this week. But you have to go and download the app, and they force you to become a part of the rewards network in order to take advantage of that offer. But if you download the app today, it'll say on there free Baconator, and you order it through the app, and you can just go to the Wendy's of your choice and go and pick it up. And they'll have a free Baconator for you in honor of Father's Day. I thought that was kind of cool. You know what I mean? Pretty cool. So, on one end, they're criminals for, charging you $1.20 for the chicken nuggets with the sauce. But on the other side, they're making up for it, and they're giving you free Baconators.
Well, they give you a free Baconator to track all your information.
I can't complain about that. Yeah. I can't complain about that. I love everything about it. I'm probably not going to go get a free Baconator, but I'm going to dream about it tonight when I go to sleep.
Yes.
Moving on, speaking on burgers, best burger spots in Tampa. Really? I got a cool little topic over here. Nice. Yeah, I got best burger spots in Tampa. Ferg's out there by what is that called? This Tropicana?
Yeah. Oh, is it the Ferg's by Tropicana?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's got to be Ferg's. Ferg's made the list. Burger Monger made the list. Have you ever eaten?
Yeah, it's down the road from my house.
They're pretty good, man.
Yeah, they're pretty good. You get to pick your stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Square One Burger.
Never heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I don't think we have them over here in Florida. There's another one called the Avenue Eat and Drink. And that's actually, I guess we do have Square One Burgers because this list encompasses all of Tampa. So, yeah, it's somewhere out there.
It's probably Seminole Heights or something.
The Avenue Eat and Drink is in St. Pete. I've heard of them. I've never been there before. They made the list. El Cap is in St. Pete. Have you ever heard of them?
I have not.
They made the list. Ford's Garage made the list. I've never eaten at a Ford's Garage. Yeah.
I've eaten at Ford's Garage
Have
before.
You? Isn't it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, I know they stamp the burgers with like the hot, like a branding iron. So it's kind of like the bun gets that cool look to it and stuff, but
It's
I've never
right.
eaten there.
I mean, it's kind of like fast food.
Right. Is it really?
Yeah.
But it's sit down though. It's like a big restaurant.
It's sit down.
Right?
It's almost like Applebee's, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's like the Applebee's.
That
of
would make
burgers.
sense. Yeah. BurgerFi made the list. Tampa Bay Brewing Company in Ybor City made the list.
Oh.
I do know that their food is pretty good from what I understand.
The food is pretty good.
Years ago, 10, 12 years ago, I was actually interviewing with them for I don't remember what the position was. I think it was a general manager position. And I went down there and I looked at the menu and I knew the chef that worked there. And I know he's extremely talented. So if he's still there, I know he's doing a really good job. And that's probably why it made the list. Dats made the list.
Oh.
They closed the one in St. Pete, but apparently they still have one open they closed the one in Tampa, but they still have one going in St. Pete. And then this place is really cool that made the list as well. Engine number 9 in St. Pete.
No, I haven't been there.
Man, I'll tell you what, we've been there several times.
Good.
And their food is top notch, man.
Really?
Top notch. Yeah, they do a really, really good job. So hats off to you guys because you definitely deserve to have one of the best burgers in the Bay Area on the list because you do serve really good food. Yeah. Engine number 9. Every time, usually when we go out to the St. Pete Grand Prix, which I go every year, we usually stop there or another place and we'll grab lunch before we go in there. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a really good spot. Yeah. Here's a funny story. I don't know. Yeah, if you guys watch the news at all, there's no way you haven't heard this story. This broke a couple days ago, but there was a server fired. I'm not going to name the restaurant, but it was in North Carolina for filming a man and posting it on TikTok while she was in her shift. The man was sitting at lunch, and his date was a blow-up doll.
Okay.
Have you guys heard about this story?
I have not.
So apparently this guy lost his fantasy football league. And part of his punishment through his group was the loser has to go and take this blow-up doll to lunch and act as though it's his date. And we found this out later after the story broke that's obviously what it was. So the server, she looks around, she sees this guy with this giant blow-up doll sitting across from him.
She thinks, obviously.
And she's like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? I have to film this and I have to post it on my social media page, which I got to tell you, I can't blame her. I would have probably done the same thing.
Well, do you think he ordered something for her?
He did. As a matter of fact, yes.
Oh.
He ordered himself a burger and he ordered her a salad. And as he was eating the burger, the picture, you guys can look the picture up. It's all over the news. It shows him sitting in a chair directly across the street or across the table from the blow-up doll. He's got a burger in front of him and she absolutely 100% has a salad sitting in front of her. And she's sitting in the chair just looking right back at him. How funny is that, man?
I wonder if he says, hey, look, she just doesn't like this salad.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Can you take
this
off
off?
the chicken? She hasn't even touched it.
Why was she fired?
Well, apparently the restaurant's policy, they have like a no cell phone policy, and then they can't do anything like that, as far as, like posting images of the restaurant because there's no cell phone policy. So she knew going into the deal that she was probably going to get fired or she was going to catch some heat for that.
Yeah.
And she said it was worth it. It didn't matter to me because it was such a crazy experience that I knew I was going to lose my job and I had to take a picture and a video of this and post it on social media because it's such an absurd story.
It must have been a Village Inn or a Waffle House.
I don't know, man, but no, it was actually it was in North Carolina. The name of the restaurant, it eludes me, but it was a nice rooftop dining restaurant outdoors, and people are sitting there on business lunches, and he's sitting there with a blow-up doll as his date. Yeah.
Sad part is probably somebody else also took a photo and posted it on their account, but they didn't get fired.
Oh, of course, yeah. But this girl, she didn't care. She's like, it's worth it. I'm gonna lose my job.
And I don't feel sorry for her.
Well,
neither.
The whole league was probably sitting at the bar filming it the whole time.
And she even said in the article that so many people around her had their phones out and taking pictures, and then no one knew at the time why this guy had this blow-up doll as his date. But after the fact, the story, it made more sense.
I want to be in that fantasy football league.
Yeah, well, don't lose. Don't lose.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, you're buying 2 lunches and one's not going to get eaten. I promise you that.
Going to get sent back. You're right.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And the image is even more classic than anything else.
That's awesome.
Back on Arby's again, one of our house favorites. Arby's this week, if you download their app in honor of Father's Day as well, they've got a nice promotion going on. They're selling $1 roast beef sandwiches.
Oh, wow. They're giving away trash.
$1 roast beef sandwiches, but you have to download the app. You have to be a part of the rewards program, and you have to buy 5 of them. It's a $5. It's a 5 sandwich minimum purchase. So, in order to get the $1 Arby's roast beef classic sandwich, you have to get 5 of them. So you better be hungry. You don't have to have a lot of money, apparently, but you better be hungry.
Well, the Wendy's part, you can just download the app, get the free Baconator, and then delete the app.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And the best part about it is they're doing it all week long too. So if you don't have time today, you can do it tomorrow or Saturday. It's going all the way through until Father's Day, until Sunday. So yeah, all of you guys that want a nice Baconator or a cheap Arby's roast beef sandwich, if you got $5 in your pocket, you're good there. If you have no money in your pocket, then go to Wendy's and you're getting the free Baconator all week long.
Make 7 new email addresses.
So you'll have absolutely.
One all week.
Just, I believe, were they on the list for the fries?
They were on the list for the fries.
Just make sure you don't get the fries because they might kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's good stuff. Breaking news, Mike. Breaking news.
Oh, breaking news.
This just came across the airways. I've got breaking news for all the listeners out there today. And I think that everyone's going to find this to be very, very good. For the 12th week in a row, Mike, the Knife and Fork radio show has come in number 1 in the universe. By the ratings. Remember, I told you I was going to touch on that a little bit earlier?
Yeah.
And I said I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Well, I had to build up to it because it's such an accomplishment on our behalf. But breaking news, the Knife and Fork radio show, Arbitron rated number 1 in the universe. And the best thing about it is I spoke to Bruce Rector. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Well, I'm going to tell you, man. Bruce Rector is the mayor of Clearwater. He actually called me yesterday.
Yeah.
He wants us to go directly to his office when we're done with the show today because he's got the key to the city for us.
Oh, wow. The key to the city.
I didn't want to tell you that before the show today because I didn't want. Well, I wanted you to enjoy it as much as I did as the surprise unfolded with the rest of the listening audience. So that's the reason why I didn't give you the good news yesterday. So when we leave here, we have to go to Bruce's office. It's just going to be a small ceremony. He said 500-600 people are going to attend. It's not that big of a deal. Wendy's is providing free Baconators for everyone if they want to partake in that. And during the ceremony, he's going to have the key to the city for us. So.
Are we going to get trophies?
No, we're getting the key to the city, Mike. Okay. Are you even paying attention?
I am paying attention, but I thought we'd also get a trophy.
No, we're not getting trophies. We're getting a key to the city, man.
Right, perfect.
Why would you want a trophy when you can have a key to the city? It unlocks every door in Clearwater.
Fair enough.
Every single door.
Fair enough.
Thank God I live in Palm Harbor because if that key ever got into the wrong hands, then there could be an invasion on my hands.
Yeah, man. We need to sell that key.
And I'll be honest with you, at this point, I don't really know what the hell's going on. So why don't we go ahead and take a commercial break so I can collect myself and get back to reality. Listen, guys, Knife and Fork Radio Show, Key to the City, 12th week in a row, Arbitron rated number 1. We'll see you in about 1 minute and 31 seconds.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Are you a writer, inventor? Do you have questions about your intellectual property rights? Well, tune in every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 11 o'clock for Joy on Paper. Once a month, I will have a special guest, the writer's legal eagle, Bill Larson of Larson & Larson, who can answer your questions. Protect your valuable work. Email me your questions to patsy.radio@gmail.com and then listen in every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. right here on Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network. That's patsy.radio@gmail.com.
You may be owed some money. After 911 and 411, call 541. That's 727-541-1741. Call Gulfstream Motorsports for a diminished value report. Due to my 28 years experience in the auto salvage business, I'm very good with wrecks. So if your car's been involved in a wreck, call me for a diminished value report. Call 727-541-1741. You may be owed some money for the lost value of your repaired vehicle. And visit us at GulfstreamMotorsports.com.
Hi, this is Paul Malloy, host of Freedom Works, The Paul Malloy Show. I hope you'll join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, where we strive to bring you the libertarian perspective on political events of the day. There's no show quite like Freedom Works, with in-depth interviews, our ultimate top 10 list, and so much more. So join us for Freedom Works, The Paul Malloy Show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody. 947 on the Night Sports Radio Show here on the Tan Talk Radio Network. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the show so far today. I know we're having a really good time, as we always do. Again, I say it every week, and I'll say it every Thursday moving forward. Thursday morning is my favorite time of the week because I love getting up in the morning, driving out to this radio station, hosting this radio show, and just having a good time, laughing, joking, cutting up. And hopefully for everyone that's out there listening this morning, you can share in my enjoyment as well, because like I said, this is my favorite day of the week, and it always will be until we don't do the show anymore.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what I'm going to do on Thursday mornings, if that ever does come to fruition. So hopefully, Mike, we never have to cross that bridge.
Yeah, hopefully. But I mean, as of right now, we're number one in the universe, so I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. We don't have any sponsors or advertisers, which is interesting to me for being number one in the universe for the 12th week in a row. So if you guys are listening out there and you want to be a part of the number one rated show, throw some money, for God's sake. All right, let's get real with each other here. All right, moving on. Hey, you guys know Anthony Bourdain, right?
Oh,
well, you don't know him personally, but you know who he is, right? So this has nothing to do with anything whatsoever. I just thought it was pretty interesting. Anthony Bourdain, during his time on Earth with us, he told us what his favorite sandwich is. He gave us a simple 5-ingredient recipe for his favorite sandwich. And again, I don't even know why I put this in the show notes, but I just figured it would be something food related, so I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah,
my wife was a very big Anthony Bourdain fan, so maybe that's what struck a nerve. He said, in quote, "It is so delicious," end quote. It is this. So if you guys want to know, it's a roll, preferably a Kaiser. Ingredient number 1, mortadella. Ingredient number 2. And for all of you not know what mortadella is, as soon as I'm done with the list, I will run down the mortadella and let you know exactly what it is. Ingredient number 3, provolone cheese.
Ooh, gotta love some provolone.
Ingredient number 4 and 5, mayonnaise and mustard.
That's it?
2-to-1 ratio.
Wow.
2 parts mayonnaise, 1 part mustard. And that's it.
Mustard drizzle.
That's a simple sandwich from Anthony Bourdain. What do you think about that sandwich, Ed? Would you sit down and mow down on a mortadella, provolone, mustard, mayonnaise sandwich on a freshly baked Kaiser roll?
Not my first choice.
Not your first choice.
No.
Have you ever had mortadella?
I guess you could toast it because you get the provolone there. Maybe look a little attractive, but
probably you get a little bit of heat on it. Have you ever had mortadella? Do you know what that is?
No.
It's an interesting Italian meat.
No.
It's very similar to that of bologna that we in America would come to love. But it looks just like bologna. It's encased in the wax ring or the paper ring, whatever it is, to keep it housed and contained. And then there's large chunks of fat scattered throughout the entire meat. So when you cut into it and you slice it, you see the pinkish, grayish pink color of the meat.
Rings of fat.
And then you see, just spots of nickel size, like the size of a nickel, chunks of just raw fat scattered throughout it. And that's actually cured into the meat itself. And I tell you, man, people love that stuff. They absolutely love it. Mortadella.
It's okay.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it.
You know what I mean?
I'll take it or leave it.
I used to, at the deli, I used to have that as an alternative to bologna. I didn't keep bologna, but I did use mortadella in one of my sandwiches. So if someone ever asked me, hey, do you have bologna? I go, no, I don't. I've got this mortadella. Would you like to try it? And 9 times out of 10, people would get it.
Yeah,
that way I didn't have to carry an additional ingredient that I may or may not sell.
Right.
But I will tell you, this is a fun fact as well, Mike. I don't even know if you know this, but in still to this day, if you go to Italy, oh my God, look at AOC. Why does her eyes look like that? Holy, she is
crack
insane.
every 20 minutes.
Wow. Okay. So when you go to Italy, still to this day, mortadella is made with horse meat. That's a true story.
Really?
Absolutely. The standards of meat in the European market are way different than what they are in the United States. So if you order a sandwich with mortadella on it in Italy, then you're getting a sandwich just made literally out of horse meat. Yep. And apparently it's really good. We can't serve that here in the States, though, obviously. So we make ours with a pork byproduct. But mortadella is traditionally made with horse.
Can't pass up a pork burger or
I'll tell you,
burger.
Horse burger. It sounds, okay, moving on. You ever wonder what's in Taco Bell's meat?
Horse?
No, you would think so, though.
Yeah.
You would think so. So you go to Taco Bell, you get a soft taco, or you get a Nacho Supreme, whatever,
Right.
and it's got that ground beef mixture on there. And there was always concerns that it's like instant meat. I've heard that before in the past as well, where it's just add water type thing.
And microwave.
Well, yeah, it's pretty similar. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Yeah, it's ground beef.
Okay.
Water, it's the second ingredient. So that is, in fact, what they use. Seasoning, isolated oat product. And the oat product is used for a binder to make it thicker than what it should be. Corn flour, that's a thickening agent. Sugar, tomato powder, oats, that adds texture and flavor. So actual oats are in there as well.
Interesting.
And then citric acid, which is a preservative to keep it shelf stable for 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, I just figured for all those out there that want to know what's in Taco Bell's delicious beef mixture, now you know.
Back to that other meat.
Yes,
if
sir.
I went to the counter and I asked what's in this, and he started off, well, it's interesting, I would cut it off right there.
Yeah, as soon as you get to the word interesting, and then before it even got to the comma in the sentence, you would cut it
You have
off.
to explain it to me, forget it.
Yeah.
I'm not eating it.
I'll tell you, man, it's interesting. It is, to say the least. Yeah.
That's just like these videos that you see online of people of other countries eating stuff.
Yeah, sure.
You don't know what they're eating.
Of course.
Oh, of course
Yeah,
not.
of course.
Nasty.
Yep, you have no idea. But I gotta tell you, I would try it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't enjoy it but I would absolutely give it a shot and see what it's all about, even though, I know what's in it. I've eaten some crazy stuff before in the past.
Yeah, for sure.
Venison's whatever. Everybody eats venison, but I've eaten ostrich before. I've eaten kangaroo.
I've never eaten kangaroo.
Leg of black bear. I've eaten that before.
Nice.
There was this place over in, they're closed down now, Spoto's Steak Joint over there in Dunedin, heading towards downtown. And they had, I swear to God, they had porterhouse steak made from lion porterhouse.
They do that.
Yeah.
Lion?
Yes, sir. Lion. Actual
Really?
lion porterhouse steaks. Yeah. The bartender used to come into my restaurant, sit down and have drinks after his shift every day. And he told me, Eric, yeah, check this special. He's like, we have lion porterhouse steak on the menu tonight. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, how many do you have? He's like, well, we had 12 in the house. And, they're selling like crazy. I'm like, you got to do me a favor, JJ. Go in there and save me one. I'm going to come in there tomorrow. How much is it? $75. I'm like, done. I want it. Let's sign me up. And then by the time the next day came around, man, they'd sold them all out, man. It was like a one-day deal. Lion porterhouse.
Wow.
Never got to experience it. Then the restaurant closed down.
For selling lion.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah, right. They closed down not too long after that. So that's pretty interesting. Moving on. So anyway, Applebee's. We talk about Applebee's every now and again on this show. This is something interesting. Late night menu. They're cutting all their appetizer prices in half in case anyone wants to go out late night in order to combat inflation and rising costs of the customers. They're offering for a limited time wings, mozzarella sticks, blah, 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 etc. And it's only from 9 p.m. until close. You can get half price select menu items. So that way you can have a little bit of extra money in your pocket when you get done eating. So if anyone's a fan of Applebee's, or if you want to go out there, that's exactly what it is, man. Yeah.
I have a feeling this is a swing and a miss probably for Applebee's.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
and I think this is a last ditch effort. I don't know if they're competing with Chili's, or who they're competing with.
Could be.
But when you see them, anything that says half price, scares me.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, all half
competing
price.
with bankruptcy is what it sounds like.
They're competing with Red Lobster. Who's going to go to business first?
Trying to create a lot of cash flow.
Right. Yeah, and like Mike said too, they're probably trying to get you to go in there and buy those extra drinks at the end of the night, or before you get started pre-gaming at Applebee's, get some food in you.
2-for-1 margaritas.
Yeah, 2-for-1 margaritas, and then half price appetizers. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but I guess if that's what you like, and you're a night owl, and you want to go out and get some cheap stuff, that's a place to go, I guess. Yeah, so might as well go check that out. But now I'm going to move into a little segment that I like to call Things That I Hate.
Oh.
This is my favorite time of the day on the radio show because a lot of things in life irritate me, and I don't have a whole lot of patience for a lot of things in life. And so I come up with this list on a weekly basis of 3 or 4 different things that I absolutely can't stand, that I want to just break if I had it in front of me, if it was something tangible, or never look at or deal with ever again if I didn't have to. So number 1 on my list, and maybe you guys feel the same way about this, what the hell is the deal with the voicemail on the iPhone? How come when you have a message, right? All right. So you look back and you're like, all right, I've got a voicemail. I need to listen to this immediately and see what it is because I missed a call. You hit the play button on the virtual voicemail deal, and then you raise the phone to your ear and it just stops playing.
Every time.
Every single time. Then you have to bring the phone back down, hit play, bring it back to your ear again, cuts off. Then you have to put it on speakerphone and allow the entire world to hear what the message is that you're listening to. Why does it do that? It drives me every single time. You hit play, bring it to your ear, cuts off.
I only do it, try to put it to my ear if it doesn't translate it into like a text.
Actually, I like the text part. Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't
do the translation first.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't do it though, and you're forced to listen.
I've not had that problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, sure, it's not a glitch.
No, because my wife's phone, she says hers does the same thing. Mike's saying his does the same thing. It's the worst, man. I mean, if you have your AirPods in, or if you have like earbuds or something, then you don't have to raise it to your ear and you can listen to it. But if you don't have your pods in, you have to bring it to your ear to listen. It cuts off every time. You know what else I hate, Mike?
What's that?
I hate people in cars that don't use their blinkers when they're turning in front of you. So I'm sitting here, and pardon my French, like an a-hole. I don't know if I can say the word on the air, so I'm just going to say a-hole. I'm sitting here waiting to make a left-hand turn. Here comes a car coming down the street from my left. And I'm thinking to myself, I have to wait. It's the law. I have a stop sign. They do not. They have what's called the right of way.
Right.
So I graciously allow them to have the right of way, which they're legally entitled to have at this point.
Course.
And I do that without exception every step of the way. And then this son of a bitch gets to the intersection. What does he do?
Throws his blinker on.
No, he just turns left. And so I've been sitting here like an a-hole the entire time watching this guy come down the road from, however many, a quarter mile, eighth of a mile, slowly. He knows he's turning. So he's doing 2 miles an hour coming down the street. But I'm going to do the right thing and give him the right of the way. You don't have the common courtesy to put your blinker on to allow me to move forward. I hate you. I hate you, and you shouldn't have a driver's license. It should be taken away from you, and you should be treated like my 89-year-old grandmother. It should have been taken at that time, and it should be taken from you too. You son of a bitch. I can't stand you. Listen, guys, I got one last thing on my list that I really can't stand, and I think all these gentlemen that I'm speaking to today can agree with this. What's the deal with nose hairs, man?
Oh, man.
How is it that I wake up today and I have a nose hair that's 7 inches long, but yesterday it wasn't there? You mean to tell me it grew 7 inches in the 8 hours that I was sleeping last night? Nose hairs, you're going on my list.
It's been fermenting up there for a couple of days and growing.
It's the worst, man. My wife thought that one of her hairs was attached to my nose the other day, just stuck to like my mustache, and it wasn't. She went to grab it, and I'm like, ow! And she's literally pulling on my brain. Knife and Fork Radio Show, guys. We'll see you next Thursday.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.